Known as the happiest place on earth, Disney World is celebrating its golden anniversary. Welcome back. I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English lesson number 403. JR is the producer, and as always, he has uploaded today's lesson to plainenglish.com/403. There, you will also find the full transcript, how-to videos, translations, fast audio, and more. plainenglish.com/403. Disney World is the most visited theme park worldwide, with 21 million people visiting the Florida hotspot in 2019 before COVID hit. And this year, the attraction turns 50 years old. It's being billed as the world's most magical celebration, and it kicks off on October 1st. There will be a ton of new experiences unveiled and one new ride. So let's explore Disney World's 50 years of wonder, and we'll check out the planned festivities. At the end of the lesson, I'll show you how to use the English phrase come to fruition. Disneyland opened in California in 1955, but few people living on the East Coast of the U.S. could afford to make the trip. Plane travel was a lot tougher in 1955 than it is today. Walt Disney also grew frustrated by some of the businesses that sprung up around the California resort, and he wanted to have more control over the area around his parks. So he decided to start buying millions of dollars of Florida farmland around Orlando in 1964. He was super secretive about it. Locals thought maybe the government was going to build another space center on the land, but pretty soon it became clear that wasn't the case. Unfortunately, Walt Disney died in 1966, so he could not see his dream come to fruition. So his brother carried on with the construction project. It took 2 years and over 9,000 people to build the park, Disney World. When it finally opened in October 1971, the total cost of the project had been $400 million. Of course, Mickey Mouse personally escorted the first visitor inside, and celebrities like Bob Hope and Julie Andrews helped mark the occasion. In the first 2 years, the attraction drew 20 million visitors, and it employed 13,000 people. It also put Orlando on the international map. The park's first day open was October 1st, 1971, exactly 50 years ago tomorrow. Unfortunately, the 50th year anniversary will not be quite as special as Disney had hoped. The pandemic hurt the Disney World resorts because they were forced to close or drastically reduce their capacity to maintain social distancing. Although things are better today, they're still not fully back to normal. Even so, plans are set to celebrate the 50th anniversary with 18 months of new attractions, restaurants, day and nighttime entertainment, specialty food items, merchandise. How can we forget the merchandise? And more. McDonald's has even gotten in on the action, offering custom Disney toys in their Happy Meals for kids and offering one lucky diner a chance to win a vacation to Disney's big milestone event in Orlando. If you're not familiar with Disney World, it can be a lot to take in at one time. Disney World is actually made up of 4 separate parks: Magic Kingdom Park, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Each one has its own themes, rides, characters, restaurants, and events. It can be so confusing that there's now a Disney World mobile app to help keep it all straight. The app also tells you how long the lines are for the rides and how much money you have remaining on your meal plan. There are so many tips and tricks to getting around in Disney that there are numerous blogs and websites all devoted to helping you navigate the parks and make the most of your trip. So, what's new this year? A new ride called Remy's Ratatouille Adventure opens at Epcot on October 1st. Epcot is the giant ball-looking theme park inside Disney World. It features cultural traditions and food from around the world. The new ride is a family-friendly ride, and it's based on the animated movie Ratatouille. It's designed to make riders feel like they've shrunk down to the main character Remy's eye level, with rat-shaped vehicles that scurry through a cartoonish Paris and Gusteau's restaurant. If you haven't seen the movie, it's cute. There's also a new restaurant opening outside the ride entrance, inspired by the Brittany region of France. Disney World is also known for its parades and fireworks shows. The anniversary will debut new elements based on movies like Hercules, Brave, Aladdin, Alice in Wonderland, Beauty and the Beast, Tangled, Onward, and Mulan. Tinkerbell from Peter Pan will continue to fly around the various venues. Some of the new additions are still being kept quiet. For example, each park is getting new Fab 50 golden character statues that will be interactive, but there's been no explanation of what that means. It's a surprise. I have never been to Disney World. I've been to Universal Studios, which is an unrelated theme park nearby, but just for a few hours one night. I don't have kids, so I can't say that I'm really into the theme parks. When I was a kid, I was terrified of roller coasters. The moment when the car gets to the top was the worst. When it's going up, you hear this clicking sound, and just at the top, the clicking stops and the first plunge begins. That was terrifying to me as a kid. Not anymore, unfortunately. Now, all the biggest roller coasters do is give me a headache. Today's English expression is come to fruition. When an idea comes to fruition, it becomes real. Do you remember how you heard it in today's lesson? Walt Disney opened Disneyland in California in 1955. Right around the park in Anaheim, California, a number of other businesses took advantage of Disney's popularity. Other people were selling hotel rooms, restaurant meals, and other activities to the people who came to visit Walt Disney's park. So when Disney wanted to build a new park on the East Coast, they made sure to buy up all the land around the park so they could be the ones to own the hotels, the restaurants, and the rest of the visitor experience. Unfortunately, Walt Disney died before his idea came to fruition. He died before his idea was fully implemented, before it was real. He died in 1966 when the plan was just starting. His brother took over management of the project. Disney World in Orlando finally came to fruition 50 years ago tomorrow. I'm recording this at home, but I wrote this lesson on my balcony in Budapest. On the day I wrote this lesson, I visited the Hungarian Parliament building, a majestic neo-Gothic building on the banks of the Danube River. It's as beautiful inside as it is outside. The architect of the building, Imre Steindl, died just 3 weeks before the inauguration. I would say he got to see his project come to fruition. It was pretty much done when he died, but it's such a tragedy he didn't get to see the inauguration. Those of you in Spain can probably name a famous architect who never saw his idea come to fruition. Antoni Gaudí died in 1926, well before he could see his idea for the Sagrada Familia come to fruition. Sometimes it can be hard to picture a big project at the beginning, but it's so satisfying when you see it come to fruition. That's how I felt when we launched the new design of PlainEnglish.com a few weeks ago. I had been working with my vendors on the new design for several months, and when I started, I had a clear idea in my head of what I wanted. But an idea in your head is not the same as an idea that has been fully implemented. In mid-August, I finally got to see the new site come to fruition. I had seen drafts and mock-ups before, but they were just for demonstration purposes. The new site really came to fruition when I got to see the working versions a few weeks before the launch. You can use this to describe personal plans. I had to delay this vacation to Budapest several times, but I was so relieved when it finally came to fruition. I almost didn't allow myself to relax until I was on the plane. That's how afraid I was that COVID would cut this trip short. But the trip did indeed come to fruition, and it was amazing. Your plans to become a doctor might come to fruition, so might your plans to renovate a kitchen, buy a car, get a new job, learn to code, or any number of other personal goals. Those are all things that can come to fruition. Today's song of the week is Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars. If you say you like someone just the way you are, it means you don't expect or hope the other person will change. It just means you don't have to change for me. You don't have to pretend to be anyone else. You're amazing just the way you are is the line from the song by Bruno Mars. And thanks to JR for selecting the song of the week, as always. And that's all for this Plain English lesson number 403 on Thursday, September 30th, 2021. I know some of you are making plans or trying to make plans to visit Disney World during the 50th anniversary celebrations. Remember, they last 18 months. That is a Disney-sized anniversary celebration. So feel free to share your Disney plans or memories in the Facebook group just for Plain English listeners. You can access that by visiting plainenglish.com/Facebook. That's all for today. Have a magical weekend.